Financial expert Nicole Lapin is here live from Los Angeles. What the heck are you doing in Los Angeles?
Los Angeles.
Okay, Nicole.
It's early bird special for our date night, Don.
All right. Grab bag of money questions for you that we have received from Twitter and Facebook. So first up, you ready? Mike Chin writes, does the unemployment rate affect the market, and does the stock market affect the job market?
Yes, and yes, that's a good question, Mike. And you know what, Don, the market was craving a good jobs number, and that's what we saw on Friday. It was the lowest unemployment rate that we've seen in 2.5 years. We're at 8.6%. But let me keep this real, because that sounds really great. It's kind of weird how this is calculated, though. 315,000 people dropped out of the jobs force, so they were so disillusioned that they're not even in the jobs force. That doesn't sound good, and I will tell you from firsthand experience of being on the floor of the stock exchange during one of those jobs Fridays, and that's, of course, the first Friday of every month. They are clinging on these numbers, and vice versa. You're not getting a whole lot of great morale when you're seeing the stock market in the you-know-whatter when you're out looking for a job. So it's very cyclical. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. One feeds off the other, and that's what we've been seeing as of late. The top three issues hanging over the market these days: number one, jobs; number two, jobs; number three, jobs.
The you-know-whatter. I'm going to have to hashtag Nicole Lapin and you-know-whatter. You should own that one. Okay, second question comes from Brian Tanguma. With all the ups and downs of the stock market these days, is it worth it to invest in a 401k anymore, Nicole?
I gotta say, Brian, this is one of the biggest questions I've been hearing as of late, because when you see it in the you-know-whatter, you're thinking, okay, if I'm aggressive, I'm in a stock. And when stocks crash, so does my money. So you're looking at this and you're saying, well, great, my employer usually matches this. But lately, we've been seeing more and more employers not match it. And on top of that, you've been seeing fees that are ridiculous, commissions that are ridiculous. So I would say if your employer does not match your 401k investment, it may be time to rethink that investment. After all, trusting your employer with your investments is trusting your employer with your investments.
There you go. Okay, one more from Dan Wasser, who writes in. Here's what he says. How can I find a financial advisor that I can trust? And this is one that I have thought about, too. He says, i.e., who will give me advice and won't steal from me? If the advisor is not a millionaire, why should I rely on him or her to advise me? I mean, if they are not rich, then obviously they can't make me rich. I have often thought about that, and I think that is a very good question.
No, I don't. You know, Dan, I hate to break this to you, but the head of Goldman Sachs is not going to be your financial advisor. I hate to say it. And you know what you're saying? You're basically saying, I'm not going to take a class because a teacher teaches because he or she cannot do. That is hogwash. Do not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. You got to man up, Don and Dan, both of you guys. You got to ask some friends. You got to ask family to do the initial homework. If not, there are a lot of organizations that you can do this homework with. The National Association for Personal Finance Advisors is one of them, and you want to make sure that this guy or this gal has expertise not only in one service or product, but in a wide swath of products. You don't want a millionaire, Don. You just want somebody who understands Don Lemon and his financial situation.
All right, thank you very much.